right. Hi everyone, I'm back again to talk about socks. So Ina's with me. We'll see if she decides to come over here and say hi. All right, so I went ahead and I cast on, and again, you can use any kind of center out cast on. You don't have to use Judy's Magic if you don't want to. Are you gonna come over here? Even though that's what my pattern says. Anytime a pattern specifies a cast on or a cast off or a specific toe or heel or cuff, you actually have the option of following the pattern or choosing something a little bit different. If you choose something different, it may change the overall look of your pattern or it may not. So for this pattern, just changing the method of your center out cast on is not going to change the overall appearance of the sock. So if we're following along with our pattern and we have increased to our 48 stitches, or if you followed along with my first video where I talked about gauge and you adjusted your gauge to fit your sock, then you will have something that looks a little bit like this. And yes, it is kind of a funny toe, sort of a funny pointy toe. So to prevent this, I could have used my cast on, and I could have added a few more stitches to my cast on since I had to have more stitches for my sock total. Yeah, Ina? You want to play with the yarn? You want the yarn? Yeah. So that would have helped to prevent some of this toe pointiness. But I just went ahead and I decided I didn't really care because I'm going to make these socks and I'm going to give them away and it will be fine. And really when you take that toe and you spread it out and you look at what it looks like as a regular sock, flat instead of the way that we've been working it, it's perfectly fine. I know. So you can sort of see my self-striping sock yarn in the toe already. And I have gone ahead and increased all the way out, so I am actually ready to start the patterned section of my sock. But what I will do is I went ahead and kept my sock in two different sections. You can mark this and you can use Magic Loop and just make sure that you have a very distinctive beginning marker and side marker so that you can tell where you are. And you can just keep working your way around. I just happened to keep it on two halves. And I kept my little Magic Loop ready to go, so I have my little Mickey Mouse ears out to both sides, and I've continued to work. Ina just completely stole my yarn, too. Yep, completely stole it. Well, I'll get it back in a minute. Anyway, now that we've made all of our increases, we are ready to go ahead and start our foot. So I always like to make sure that when I'm making socks, that I have divided my sock into kind of two parts. And I like to think of it as, when we're on the foot like this, the sole and the top of the foot, because I want to know what I'm working. And almost all patterns will have you work the sole of a sock in stockinette because you're walking on it and your foot can be kind of sensitive. So you don't want to step down on a patterned portion like a cable or something and have that be uncomfortable on the bottom of your foot. So most of the time you'll have stockinette on the bottom portion of a sock sole. And then the top may not be patterned. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. If it's patterned and you don't want it to be, you can just knit it in stockinette. If it is not patterned and you want it to be, then you can adjust your sock and you can carry that pattern down the sock. It's totally up to you. This one though, what it says to do according to our pattern is to go ahead and knit to the first marker. And I didn't use markers, again, I just kept mine broken into two halves. So I have my top half and my bottom half, or my sole half and my top half. And it says to knit to the first marker, so I'll knit all the way across, and then you would slip that marker if you were using them, and then you will knit one, slip one, purlwise, that's important. And then you'll repeat from that star across the row to the stitch markers. So you'll knit one, slip one, purlwise, knit one, slip one, purlwise, all the way across that top half. And what you'll find is that there will be a pattern that emerges, and you'll get this nice slip stitch pattern, which will break up my striping pattern when we get there. So if you have already moved, can I have my yarn back? He's just stealing all my yarn, child. Come here. If you have gone ahead and worked out your foot and started, then hopefully you should start to see your slip stitch pattern emerging, and you'll get very strong columns of slip stitch patterns all the way up because we've kept them in a line all the way up our sock. Can I have my yarn back, Sweet Pea? No? So I'm going to go ahead and start my pattern, and I'll try to check in with everybody again and see how they're doing once I'm further into the pattern on my sock. And when I come to the heel, I'll stop and I'll talk to you again about how to work that short row heel and some little tips and tricks to make sure that you don't have holes. I really don't like holes in my socks. I know you don't either. So I'm going to go ahead and retrieve my yarn from my child. Oh, you're having a lot of fun with that, aren't you? And I will get to work on the foot of my sock. Hopefully everyone has had time to cast on and start that toe, and you will enjoy watching me make a sock with you. So if you have questions, be sure to ask them in the comments, either on the YouTube channel or put them in that Facebook group, and I will try to make sure that I answer them. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel to make sure that you catch all of the videos that I'm making. I will try to put them up in the Pearly Shell Sockalong group, but just in case I miss putting one up, just go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel and make sure that you're catching all the videos too. So I will see you next time.